a recent case, actually, because of all the budget cuts in California to the education system, the community college that I actually transferred from to get here had to cancel all their summer classes. And in response, my sociology professor, Dr. Sarah Pitcher, actually started an organization so that teachers and students could get together and teach for free in the city to people who wanted to learn something. She called it teaching to transgress. Would that be like a good model maybe for other education systems?
Wow, that's a wonderful thing to hear. Yeah, I ran into a woman in San Francisco today who they closed their local library, and so the people just got together and opened up their own library, opened up their own branch. Except instead of calling it a branch, they called it a twig. And I was really impressed. I think people are doing things all over the place, trying to fight back, trying to survive these very ugly, dark times in which we live. And the situation here in California, I mean, this was the richest state in the richest country in the world. What the fuck happened? You know, really. I mean, I'm walking in the door right now of the Benjamin Wheeler Auditorium, and there's a bunch of letters missing off the name. So you walk in here and it says Benjamin Wheeler Auditorium. I mean, I'm thinking, wow, they really are broke here. They can't even afford the guy's letters on the name of this building.
Yeah.
You know, that's a pretty sad state of affairs. And the baby boomers, your parents, that would be my generation, owe you a huge apology for the world that we're leaving you.
Yeah, well,
sorry about that.
I'll just keep waiting. Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for apologizing for your generation.
On behalf of all baby boomers, we thought we were going to change. And, you know, we did change a lot of things. I mean, you know, first of all, we raised you guys, and you're all pretty decent people. You know, one thing you're not bigots. You're the first generation of non-bigots where, you know, that just hasn't happened before. So I'm so optimistic about that when it comes to issues of race or gays and lesbians or, you know, you name it. The people of your age, by and large, are very open and open-hearted and loving and accepting and tolerant. And it's really a wonderful thing to see.
Well, it is a wonderful thing to experience as a gay man.
Because if you were a gay man when I was growing up, imagine that situation. It's the 1960s, you know, and it's like how hard you would have had to work to keep that in the closet. To the point where I actually saw gay kids in school joining in the bullying of other gay kids to prove that they weren't gay. I mean, it was a pretty brutal time. And just think about this, in 7 years, I'll probably mention something on this tonight. In just 7 years' time, after the '04 elections, when all those gay marriage bans were enacted in all these states, 7 years later now, the whole thing's turning around. And the poll last month, for the first time ever, 54% of the American public said gay marriage should be legal. Not civil unions, gay marriage should be legal in this country. I'm thinking that is one of the fastest turnarounds of a societal issue I've seen in my lifetime. And I just thought that it's getting better. It's getting better because in 7 years, each year, another whole crop of millions of 18-year-olds have become adults. And those 18-year-olds aren't bigots. And so in '05, I mean, just think about that. How many people turn 18 every year? 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, you know, something like that. So there's 3 million new non-bigots as voters in '05, then 3 million more in '06, and 3 million more in '07, and 3 million more in '08. See how the math goes? And each of those years, I don't mean to disrespect the dead, but I'm just saying, you know, it's they take a lot of that bigotry with them to their grave, and that's a good thing.
I think so too. But I was going to ask also, so when you're on talk shows a lot of the time, it seems like they're always cutting you off or like switching to
all the
different
time.
camera.
I can't give it.
Like they're afraid of the fact that you will say exactly what you think and you won't sugarcoat it.
And try not to put Michael Moore on live. And if you do, you gotta really put a really tight leash on his neck. But anyways, I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's okay.
I cut you off.
It's okay. You know, I'm the less important person
no,
here.
No, that is not true.
Oh
No. You're the future and the hope here. You know, and look, I mean, for crying out loud, you guys all work. You go to friggin' University of California, Berkeley. You know, you're doing this. You're doing this media work. You're what's going to be the next wave of this. So we're dependent on you. So Ask your question.
I was going to say, is there anything in particular that you really wanted to say that they wouldn't let you say on any of these shows? We may not be as big as those networks.
I would say turn your TV sets off. It's really, you know, you've listened to this interview now. We've tried to keep it short. Now it's time to get up and move around and act and do something. Don't be a couch potato. We live in a democracy. This is not a spectator sport. This is a participatory event. And it only works if everybody participates in it. Everybody has to participate. You do not get to watch this. It's not a show. It's not a show. Oh yeah, let's just watch all these crazy politicians or whatever. You don't like the politicians? You think about running yourself. I ran when I was 18 years old and got elected. You know, once you're 18, you have carte blanche as a citizen to participate in this government. And unless you do, if you leave it up to the nimnits that are running things, you know, it's never going to get better. You know, you've got to run. You've got to run. You know, and I want people to think about it. I want young people to think about running for office, even if it's a small local office. To get involved, make your voice heard.
Well, thank you so much. I will let you get back to preparing for your speech tonight. And I believe you also have a new book.
Thank you for dignifying it by calling it a speech.
Oh, well, you know, I do what I can.
Yes, the book is called Here Comes Trouble.
Here Comes Trouble, and it's really like a bunch of sort of
It's short stories.
Short stories about
from my life.
Your life.
Yes.
Do you hope that maybe even your detractors will see a different side of you through this book, or do you think that they're just going to write you off?
I think it's just a great read, regardless what your politics are.
Thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule to talk with us.
Oh no, thanks for having me here.
Well, have a great night. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you on the next episode of CalTV.